Hello, UCAR. Peter Christensen here, coming to you from the CEO's desk. Happy summer. The sun's out, blaring down on us. Does it ever rain in Utah? I don't know. Maybe it's raining today when you're watching this. Let's hope so. But if not, then you probably have solar on the mind. We're going to start to see more and more transactions with solar involved. So, good thing the UAR Forms Committee is on the ball and has recently approved for the membership's use a solar addendum. So this is pretty awesome. A couple things to note from this. It's really a pretty simple form. So when you come into a home, buyer sees it, there's a solar panel system on the roof. Red flags should be going off in the buyer's agent mind. Who owns that? Is it owned by the seller? Is it going to stay? What are the terms of the agreement? Is it being leased, financed, part of a power purchase agreement? What's going on? What are we gonna have to deal with? And those are all good questions to be asking. So, a couple changes that are now here to help you with that. First of all, some changes to the seller's property condition disclosure form. So in section 25, there is a solar panel system section. In this, it lays out, is there a solar panel system? If there is, when was it installed? What's the company that installed it? How is it owned? Is it financed? Is it owned outright? Is it leased? What are the terms of that? Do you have a copy of any of these forms? If you do, you'll attach them to the seller's property condition disclosure form when you pass that over. And then, of course, have you had any problems with it, or have any repairs been made? So right there, boom, we've got a lot of information that is useful to the buyer's agent and the buyer, because we at least have an idea of what we are dealing with at this point. So then we move on to the solar panel system addendum. This is a beauty. This is the beauty of a form. It's so simple. It was very complicated along the way, but the Forms Committee pared it down, made it very usable. So really just two concepts to contemplate in this form. So first off, the assumption is that the solar panel system will be staying on the property. You can make arguments, it's a fixture, if it's owned, and then, so it's really the best resolution. If it's not going to stay, you need to deal with that with a separate addendum. Who's going to handle the repairs? When will that inspection post-removal take place? When will it be removed? Is the seller going to remove it before the purchase is final? That's risky. So a lot of complications come if you're leaving it on the property. Advisable to, if you're not leaving it on the property. Less complicated if you are leaving it on the property. So advisable to leave it on the property. It's kind of like seller's repairs. Just not a good idea to have the seller do it themselves. Always better to leave it and have it be the buyer's deal after that. So that's the assumption of the solar panel system addendum. Then we go into two phases here. Number one, how is it owned? If it's owned outright by the seller, you check box A. Done. It's going with the property. It's part of the purchase. Buyer, you now have a solar panel system. B is it's subject to an existing lease or power purchase agreement, or it's financed somehow. So then you move on to the next section. If you marked B, it's not owned outright by the seller. Now you go into how will it be dealt with by the buyer and seller. So option A is seller is going to pay it off. However it's in there, seller is going to pay it off and the buyer will get it outright after that. Option B is that the buyer will assume the lease, the financing, the power purchase agreement, whatever form they're using for that solar system. And that's obviously a little more complicated, but it can be done. So those are really your two options. It's as simple as that. when you boil it down. So yeah, we're gonna start seeing these. I think more and more. I think probably every one of you has one in your neighborhood. You may have one on your own home. You may have sold a home or had a buyer purchase a home with one on there. So it's coming. Go. Hopefully you had a chance to watch the UAR's podcast on, I think they Facebook Live the class from convention on this form. So hopefully you saw that. Look for this to be taught in further classes. You can go look for it on the MLS or the UAR's website. Great form, really pretty user-friendly. So, awesome. Let's hope the sun keeps shining, but we get a little rain. That would be good too. And that solar is the answer to everything. I don't know. That's what the salesman tell me. So, yeah, happy to have you chime in today, and go have a great rest of your day.